All right, welcome back to PDX Properties. I was hoping to make a couple more videos before this, but as you guys may be able to see from the title, I actually got my first property under contract. So this happened a lot faster than I was expecting it to happen. I was not thinking I was going to end up getting this property, but we got it. So we're currently under contract right now, so that doesn't mean that I own the property or anything. We have 30 days until we actually close. I got it under contract 2 days ago, so on May 22nd, and just wanted to talk about it. So this is a property that I was actually looking at a couple weeks ago when it first went on the market, and I had actually bid on with my realtor, and we lost it. We got outbid by somebody else, and I was pretty disappointed because this is a pretty sweet property in the middle of the area that I'm looking for. So I'll put it on the screen for you guys to see. But it is exactly my criteria, and a couple things for this property that actually worked out in my favor. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which is on the better end of my criteria with the 2 bathrooms. You don't see these very often at this price point. It also is a brick home, so it's much sturdier for the area. A lot of the homes in the area are vinyl siding, which tend to deteriorate a lot quicker and just have more issues in terms of mold and things like that. But we got this property under contract for $110,000. So I basically wanted to make this video just to talk about it and then talk about the next steps in terms of getting this from contract where we all signed and then getting it to the closing table hopefully next month. So with that being said, what happens next, really? So I've talked with my lender, so I'm going to be using a DSCR loan, putting 20% down. I'm getting them all the documents right now. Be happy to probably make a video about that process when this is all said and done. And then there's something out in St. Louis for the area that I'm looking at where they actually, it's called an occupancy inspection. So I actually have to reach out to the local government for the city that I'm purchasing this in, and they actually have to go out there and inspect the property just to basically make sure that it's inhabitable. So with properties out in this area, this is required anytime that a property is changing hands from one seller to a buyer, or just changing hands in general. Whenever a property gets sold, the city basically just comes out and makes sure that everything is up to code, everything's inhabitable, there's no safety hazards or anything like that. And so that's the only thing that I'm kind of nervous about right now, is just dealing with that whole process. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was somewhat nervous or hesitant about this whole process, as this is my first investment property. I don't even own my own primary home. I'm currently renting a bedroom like I said, I mentioned in my very first video talking about the channel. But I'm excited, and hopefully, if all said and done, I'm expecting my mortgage payment with principal, interest, taxes, and insurance to be anywhere from hopefully $800 to $850. And then with this area, I've been talking to a property manager as well. Should be able to hopefully get $1,300 to $1,400 for this home. It's a pretty decent sized home. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, almost 1,900 square feet on a pretty decent sized lot. It's well taken care of. The owner before that is selling it lived in the home, so it wasn't an investment property or anything like that before. And luckily, another piece of this that I'm actually very happy about is that even though I bid on this property the very first time and I lost it, it came back on the market because the person that was buying it before got the inspection report back, and basically what happened is they overbid, and there was a few things that this house needed to get it up to code, and they basically just got cold feet and they ran out of money. And so I was actually able to negotiate and get my offer back in and negotiate a brand new water heater for the property, and that the owner will be taking care of, as well as a couple other minor cosmetic things. So I'll put those on the screen. I'll show you guys the text message directly from my realtor, exactly what the seller plans to fix before we end up going to close. So this home is basically going to be ready to move in as soon as we close. So hopefully once I get in contact with the property manager that I plan on using, I can tell them all of the things that I'm looking for with this property in terms of getting it for rent and what I expect from them. But really, it's very straightforward. The process from now until close is I just need to get my financing in order. The appraisal has been ordered, so I'll probably make a video when that comes back of exactly what comes back on the appraisal. So like I said, we got it under contract for 110, but I believe based on what my realtor's saying and the comps in the area, that it might actually come back a little bit higher than that, which would be awesome, which means that I basically have equity right off the bat, in addition to my 20% down payment. So that being said, got to work on got to get the financing in order. I'm getting my lender all the documents that they're asking for right now. Very straightforward, very easy. And then I got to wait for the appraisal. I have to get my insurance figured out. I got to talk to a couple insurance people to try to figure out what insurance is going to look like on this. And then I have to do the occupancy inspection with the city and get that all taken care of. And then really at that point, it's just making sure that the seller is doing their part and getting all the things that they've agreed to fixed and working. So they're going to be replacing the water heater completely, which is awesome. That's like almost a $4,000 deal right there. And then on top of that, they are going to be fixing the AC. It's currently inoperable, but it's in decent condition. So they're going to be taking care of that. And then there's just a couple other minor things within the house that they're going to be taking care of. Just fixing a few locks, fixing a few doors, fixing some windows and things like that, and just making it a much better deal in terms of getting it move-in ready. So I'm excited. Definitely will be making videos along the way as things start to come in. And then hopefully once we actually get closed, that I can show the whole property as a whole and my process from start to finish. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to make this video to document the process, really. Like I said, this happened a little bit faster than I was wanting it to, but this property came back on the market and I just felt like I had to jump on it, especially at that price point. And now there was really no surprises. The previous buyer paid for the inspection, so I was able to get a copy of that inspection report. Didn't have to pay for any of that, which could potentially be almost $400 or $500, just depending on what kind of things you want the inspector to look out for. But I'm looking forward to moving through this process. If all goes good and well, and the seller is fixing the things that need to be fixed, should be owning this property in my name under my LLC in the next 30 days or so. So follow along. Be awesome if you guys subscribed and followed along. Be making more videos just as I journey through this process for my first property. But that's really all I have for now. So thanks for following along. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.